year-old teenage boy, Miles Halter, is tired of his predictable and friendless life and is in search of a life-changing, interesting moments, adventures, and a great perhaps. The notion great perhaps acts as his driving force to find a new life. So he decides to leave his boring life in Florida and wants to go to boarding school named Culver Creek, the school that his dad went to. Now the story is split in two parts, before and after. Miles meets his roommate Chip Martin, whose leadership and planning skills have earned him the nickname the Colonel. He also named Miles as Pudge, as he was skinny. He introduced him to his group of friends, including Takumi, Lara, and the beautiful, mysterious Alaska Young. Whether it's Chip, Alaska, or Takumi, each have a special talent of memorizing facts about other countries and freestyle rapping, while Pudge has a talent of memorizing people's last words. So Alaska introduces him to the last words of Simon Bolivar. How will I ever get out of this labyrinth? So initially she wonders whether the labyrinth reflects to life or death, but later she discovers that it refers to suffering. In her eyes, life is characterized by suffering. Alaska is exciting, wild, and many times moody and withdrawn. Miles spent a lot of time understanding her, but he makes little progress. While she finds Miles cute, she already has a boyfriend Jake and therefore takes it upon herself to set Miles up with Lara. While Lara is sweet, but Miles falls for Alaska. However, he is thrilled to finally have friends. He spends much of his time at school learning to break the rules. His friends encourage him to drinking and smoking cigarettes at their favorite hangout spot, the smoking hole. While creating mischief, they have to avoid to be caught by the dean of the school, Mr. Starrens, named as Eagle. Miles' favorite class is religious studies taught by Dr. Hyde, nicknamed as Old Man. He lectures all the time and makes Miles think about religion, philosophy, and life, and Miles loves it. Alaska doesn't. Alaska and Miles spend Thanksgiving break on campus together, and then everyone goes home for Christmas. When they get back, Alaska, Miles, Colonel, Takumi, and Lara pull an epic prank on both the Eagle and the Weekday Warriors. Weekday Warriors are the wealthy students who go home to their parents' air-conditioned mansions every weekend. And during their hideout, all the friends find out that Alaska's mom died of an aneurysm right in front of her when she was 8. Not only was this distressing for Alaska, she had been alone with her mother when it happened and was paralyzed with fear and has been troubled by guilt ever since. A couple of nights later, Miles, Colonel, and Alaska were hanging out in her room. They were drinking to celebrate the success of the prank, and meanwhile, Alaska and Miles make out a little until she says that she is sleepy and she asks Miles to be continued, and then Alaska gets a phone call from her boyfriend Jake because it's their 8th-month anniversary. Everyone falls asleep until Miles and the Colonel are woken up by Alaska. She takes their help distracting the Eagle so that she can leave campus. Pudge and the Colonel have no idea why she is upset or where she wants to go, but they distract the Eagle for her to leave. The next morning, Eagle announced that Alaska died in a car accident last night. She drunkenly hit a police officer's car. It was a shocker for Miles and Colonel. They felt devastated and consumed with guilt. The two friends try to unravel the mystery of her demise, hoping to figure out why she left that night and whether she intended to kill herself or not. So the two friends went to talk to the police officer whose car Alaska hit. They also stole a breathalyzer from the Eagle's house to figure out how drunk Alaska actually was. And they also talked to Alaska's ex-boyfriend Jake. Depressed by her death, Pudge and the Colonel stopped talking to Takumi and Lara. And a few days later, with Takumi's help, Miles and the Colonel realized that the night Alaska died, it was the anniversary of her mother's death. It would seem that Alaska had been drawing a picture of a flower while talking to her boyfriend on the phone. And this then brought about the realization that she had forgotten to put flowers on her mother's gravestone. And so she had drunkenly driven off with that purpose.
However, it remains a mystery whether her death was accident or whether she made a last-minute decision to commit suicide. Miles ends up deciding that he doesn't care whether or not Alaska committed suicide in the end because he loves her no matter what. The novel concludes with Miles returning to his quest for the great perhaps. Still, Dr. Hyde leaves Alaska's question, how will we ever get out of this labyrinth of suffering? On the blackboard for the students to consider. And as for Miles, he believes that forgiveness is the best way out of the labyrinth of suffering. It is easy to be troubled by guilt, and Alaska had let her guilt destroy her. He no longer feels that death is the end and consequently imagines that Alaska is out there somewhere, and he hopes that this somewhere is beautiful.